Any game that's still currently in alpha/beta, you have to expect changes to the mechanics and gameplay. Well, June's updates have come out and we have it broken down for you. Yes, we made life easy. As always, if you want to stay caught up to New World content, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell. So let's begin. We have it broken down into segments as we're covering both June Part 1 and Part 2 updates. The topics broken down are general updates, character, looting, gear, combat, and balance, with broken out timestamps, so feel free to jump around it or just watch the full thing, along with a link to the actual patch notes, as we won't be covering every detail, just what we find important. So first things first, they have increased company member limit from 50 to 100. They updated some quests and added lore notes in each starting zone relating to the mayor of that region. The main menu of the initial character creation flow has received some streamlining and added key functionality, with the new menu displaying a dynamic tile grid with aims in the future of having some tiles playing videos. Also added 2 new types of PvE faction missions, Assassinate and Elite. The world slot has been replaced by character slots, which now you have 2 per region. You have to only choose a world when creating your character, with a new streamlined character creation flow, which kind of makes things a little smoother and nicer for when you're first starting off on the game. UI has been adjusted to provide more information on the moment-to-moment gameplay, making it easier to tell what types of attacks are being used, how effective, and status effects being applied. They added icons to floating damage numbers showing the damage type of all attacks, including indicator and colors to show if an attack has improved or reduced effectiveness against its target due to its attack type, which will really make min-maxing and identifying good weapons a lot easier, because now you won't have to do so much number crunching. You can just kind of rely on the systems to kind of pinpoint what is good, what is not. Status effects now generate a floating text and icon to clearly indicate the status effect's name when applies, along with more prominently placed above the enemy's name rather than on the right side. Again, another moment here where they kind of just stating more of the obvious and leaving less for the player to kind of figure out on their own. Now let's dive into the change directed towards the player characters. In May, they rebalanced progression and leveling to introduce a few new ways for players to advance. The rebalance resulted in players leveling faster than the content, so they made these changes. Increased the amount of XP from discovering lore pages to incentivize exploration. They also increased the XP required to level by 20% for all levels after 7. Originally that was 40 just last patch for the first half, and they changed that to 20. They must have realized that was too much. Reduced the XP gained from corrupted breaches by 10 to 20% based on the level breach. Decreased the breach spawn speed from 15 minutes to 30 minutes for minor breaches, 30 to 60 minutes for major breaches, to expand the gameplay from feeling more like a grind and to focus on more of cleansing the area. They reduced the XP from faction missions, reduced the XP from PvP missions about 20%. They raised the cap of the number of active buy and sell contracts to 100 per character. They also added a ton of new options, appearance options for character creation, from faces, hairstyles, eye colors, and etc., as you probably see here. Gray rarity gear no longer binds on equip, eliminating the confirmation pop-up when equipping gray rarity gear. Adding 15 new armor sets, which are obtainable via a variety of in-game activities. Basically, they are updating the color scheme on a slew of weapons, change the base set colors to mostly match the factions, so on and so forth. So they're basically making the weapons look more identifiable against each other and more unique, along with more variety of options. They are also adding named weapon drops to the global list of drops that occur when anywhere in game, along with greatly increased chance of named items from expedition bosses and mini bosses, which I just recommended checking out the patch notes too for further detail on this, because they kind of go deep into it. But basically they are incentivizing reruns and ensuring that you get decent loot. Now for the combat, this area can get a little bloated, so I highly recommend checking out the link below if you really want to go in depth. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe to follow the channel for all the New World news. They went ahead and made a beneficial change to war declaration, changing the most active companies in the influence race have a higher chance of being selected as Vanguard, when previously it was split equally, resulting in companies that hardly put the work in resulted in them receiving the Vanguard compared to the companies who put the work in. So I think that was a very good, solid choice, and I think a lot of players are going to be appreciative of that change due to that fact. They also updated the control scheme to resolve some combat, PvP, and quality of life issues. For example, sprinting will now occur automatically and will not require you to press and hold shift to engage. Combat actions will cause a brief time delay before sprinting turns on automatically, with quite a few changes to sprinting overall to reduce runaway gameplay that was occurring during PvP, which was making it very hard for melee players to close the gap against range. They also removed the roll on sprint jump. Sprint jump no longer exceeds sprint speed, which kind of gets rid of the whole jump attack sprint situation that was also going on. The stamina cost was also removed from jump. Block break and block had some tweaks. Block break has been updated to be more of a disadvantageous state, as block break could be used as an advantage during boss fights and trivialize certain encounters. Block state offer more of an active version of tanking and to give options to the blocking player. Players can no longer block at 0 stamina and will regenerate while blocking with a 1-second delay before regeneration. You may also now trigger your abilities and attacks directly from sheath state, along with basic attacks and abilities can also be performed directly from the prone position. This is to kind of help incentivize players that are trying to PvP and have stealthy attacks. They also removed the dot bubbles from when you were actually talking to someone, private messaging in chat. Now you can actually do that while prone and nobody will actually know you're doing that, to kind of keep you hidden, right? As far as balance, I won't be going over it since you have to been up to date on all previous changes or balances, or even been playing the alpha. But if you're playing the alpha, you already know the changes, and you can follow the link down below if you desire to actually know more. I hope this was insightful, but this was fab. And if you guys have any suggestions or concerns, let me know down in the comments below. I debated on breaking them down into further conversational points and just picking like 3 or 4 and just really breaking them down, or kind of giving a little bit more of a shotgun approach with everything. So let me know how you guys like this approach. You guys want more of a detailed breakdown, or you guys just want kind of like a shotgun spread of what I think is important in the keynotes? But anyways, guys, until next time.